in writing, there are different disciplines. Because before I joined TBWA, I started my own group where I'd share my short stories and everything. So when someone was like, copywriter, I was like, duh, I already write. But then when I got into the nitty gritties of copywriting, the craft itself, it's like a whole different ballpark. Like so many elements go into it, like so much thought goes into it. So I think it's the craft that it's more technical. If it's like a TV ad, of course now you have to get a brief from the client about exactly what they want. Then the way we do it at my workplace, the team gets together, we have a brainstorm, we discuss the big idea, basically the overarching thought, where the ad should go, like how it should be, like what reaction do we want from people, who is it targeting. So there's a lot of process. I don't know if that's the right English, but there's a process that goes behind the writing. So before you write, there's so much you have to do. Then after that, they choose the writer who is best suited for the job, and then you do your thing. And yeah, it's a lot about teamwork. You can't do it by yourself. A project I worked on and I really felt like, I've done an amazing job. There was a UTB shoot that we did for Mother's Day. That we did for Mother's Day last year. And when I was writing, I felt like I was in the spirit. I was like, ooh, this is good. I love this. And of course, those days when you're just bored, but then you just have to push through. The good thing about writing is it's so funny, like you can think you have to be happy to write, but that's not necessarily true. And the awesome thing is, as you write, it can make you happy. Like the process itself brings that joy. The emotion has to change, because when you're writing, definitely you have to put yourself into the consumer's shoes, and you have to write from that perspective. So in that moment in time, you take flight of who you are and you enter someone else's shoes, and you're like, okay, now if I was this sort of person and I was buying this product, how would they capture my attention? So you kind of have to leave your ego behind. Maybe in Uganda there's a writer called Adonia. Okay, yeah, Adonia. We have some WhatsApp group, and sometimes he shares his work on there, and I love the way he thinks. I love the way he puts his words together. Then internationally, I've never really thought about that, but maybe I can give you an agency I'd love to work with internationally, and that's TBWA New York. Like headquarters, like I'd love to go there and see how they do their thing, Yeah, there's a group that I started 4 years ago where I'd share my short stories, and right now it's at 145,000 followers, and it's growing. And I think the legacy I'd want to leave behind is with that group, like with the short stories I share, because people can really be so moved by them, and someone is like, oh my goodness, like what you're writing, it's inspired me to change. Maybe those days when I used to write those romantic scenes, someone can be like, this is spicing up my marriage, I'm going home tonight to tell a hubby to So yeah, and like people have sent me appreciation money, people have bought me shoes. I've met so many different types of people, so many ladies from different walks of life from this group. And of course, it's really inspired other writers to also come through and share their stories in this safe space where people are just here to appreciate. So that's my legacy, I guess, boosting Uganda's reading culture, and it's Ugandan love stories. I like music that helps me focus, like especially when I'm working. So I love EDM mixes, like they really get me in that focused zone. Sometimes with writing, to really get the best, you have to focus. Your mind can't be split. So when I put on my headphones, put on my EDM mix, I'm good to go. Well, since COVID-19 hit, we haven't been working at our offices. Currently, I'm employed by TBWA Uganda, but I've made the best of the situation. At the beginning, it was so hard for me because I'd be at home sitting at the dining, be like, oh my gosh, I eat here, I work here, so I made the best of the situation and started working from a place that I really love. I really love this space, as you can see. I'm someone who's so sensitive to vibes. I love those good vibes, and the vibes in this place are just unlike any other. I love the green, I love the trees, I love the breeze. It makes work fun. I think maybe the negative experience I had was at the very beginning when we're just starting, and it's a must for you to sit at home. So of course clients know you're at home. They know everyone is at home. So you'd have meetings sometimes at 6 p.m. You'd work really late into the night. So it's like we were doing more work at home than at the office. So home stopped being a fun place for me. And yet it used to be this place where I'd just come back and chill, unwind. Now suddenly people are calling you. You're on these 1 million online meetings a day. Client wants this. So that I found that so hard. But then I think there's always a way to grow from such discomfort. I think my mind adapted. Like now I work faster, I complain less because complaining also takes so much energy out of you. So instead of complaining, I'm like, let me do the best that I can and get this work done. And of course the beauty of it is right here, as you can see in this space, I can work in such spaces without worrying. I'm mobile. So I really love that as well. Yeah, that's the beauty. I like this. I like being able to come here in the morning and, no one's up my butt like, you're not supposed to be there. You're not at your office desk. Because at the office, you have to be at your desk. You have to be at your workstation. But now my workstation is anywhere I want. I mean, I have one of my workmates. She's in Kabale right now, but she's still getting the work done. Yeah. So that's the awesome thing about it. Yeah. I think I definitely stick with this. Yeah.